Look at those bad boys right there. I can't even believe this is real. I'm Nick Amp, and I post outdoor, adventure, and hiking content on all my socials. If you want to see more, here's my handle. It's at the Nick Amp. For the next couple days, we're going to explore Grand Teton National Park. We kicked it off with a sunrise at Mormon Row. We just caught sunrise at Mormon Row. This spot is epic. This is where the molten barn is, and this spot has plenty of space to spread out to gaze out at the Tetons. If you want to get the best viewing here, come at sunrise. Considering that the sun lights it up, turns it bright pink. I'm sure sunset's pretty good too. The sunrise, don't miss it. After Mormon Row, we went horseback riding through Buffalo Valley Ranch. It was super awesome because when we were riding through the mountains, we had views of the Tetons the whole entire time. This was my first time riding a horse since I've been about like 5 or 6 years old. So it was definitely a learning experience, trying to learn how to steer, do all that stuff. But if you want a unique experience seeing the mountains, I highly recommend booking a horseback riding tour. It gives you a different perspective of the mountains. We stopped at Oxbow Bend on the 42-mile scenic drive, and this gives you a great viewpoint of the mountains, specifically the Mount Moran. It's reflecting to the Snake River, so it's a super awesome area because you see kayakers going through the Snake River at the same time you're looking at the Teton Range, just reflecting all right through it. After Oxbow Bend, we drove the Signal Mountain Summit. It's about 5 miles to the top, so there's 2 viewpoints. I highly recommend driving to both because they give you great views of Jackson Hole Valley and the Teton Range. Make sure you're careful though when you're driving this road. It's kind of narrow, so when you're crossing cars, make sure you pull off to the side a little bit so they can pass. After Signal Mountain, we drove down to Jackson Lake Dam. This is another great spot to get a great view of the mountains. Also on Jackson Lake, you can kayak, you can paddleboard, but you can also bring your motorized boat. The next morning with the Schwabacher landing, this trail is about 1.8 miles round trip. It's fairly flat. It gives you great views of the mountain. Along the trail, you'll see reflections of the mountains into the river the whole way. I was like, there's good spots this whole way. You don't even have to hike the whole trail. If you go early at sunrise, there's a great chance you're gonna see elk or moose because they like to drink the water in the morning. And we saw an elk. It was grazing the grass. It was so cool because the antlers are huge. It was just chilling there, mind its business, and we're watching from a distance. After sunrise, we hiked Delta Lake. It's 7.1 miles round trip and a little over 2,000 feet elevation gain. There's a few switchbacks on the trail. They're fairly steep, so make sure you keep a good pace. And after the switchbacks, you're gonna have to do a boulder ascent. Climb over some boulders. It's really steep. Make sure you push through because the views of the lake are worth it. The water was extremely blue. I could not believe my eyes. It was literally turquoise. We even jumped in the water. It was glacier fed, so that thing was freezing. I jumped in the Blue Pools, Oregon, and this water, I indeed confirm, was colder than that one. If you want to beat the crowds, make sure you start early because it gets really busy on the trail. We made a quick stop after our hike to Jenny Lake Loop Drive, and this was a really cool spot because when you get to the Overlook, you get a great spot of the Cascade Canyon. There's a glacier there, right? And it feeds Jenny Lake. On the side it tells you how it used to be so big, and that's why that canyon's huge now. So if you ever wonder why all these lakes are here in Tetons, it's because of all the glaciers. Once we're done driving the scenic loop on Jenny Lake, we stopped at Snake River Overlook. This spot is one of the most famous spots in the park because Ansel Adams photographed this area to promote national parks, specifically the Grand Tetons. You can go look back at the 1942 photo, and those trees were definitely shorter. Now, they're kind of big. The next morning, we geared up to do the Middle Teton hike. Yeah, that one over there next to the Grand Teton, we hiked up that. The trail is 12.7 miles round trip, over 6,000 feet of elevation gain. Sadly, we didn't make it to the summit, but the views were great anyways. If you want to see more about that adventure, you should check out my YouTube video right here dedicated to that hike. So our last day, we caught sunrise at Buffalo Valley Road, and you had Fork River leading up to Grand Tetons. Amazing. I know this park gets skipped a lot because of its neighbor, Yellowstone. Great park, by the way. But I would not skip Grand Teton National Park if I was you. This park has so much to offer, ranging from viewpoints of the mountains everywhere. Literally, you park anywhere around here, you're gonna see the mountains. You just can't go wrong with that. And also going to hiking alpine lakes, summiting those mountains. You can't go wrong here. I wanna thank you for watching this video. And I hope this video helped you out and gave you reasons to visit this national park. If you want to see more like this video, hit that subscribe button, smash that like button, and I'll see you on the next adventure.